Good day from here in Kuwait City. I'm hoping that this will be part 3 of my Crossing Borders mini-series, where I will somehow get from here in lovely, a little quiet Kuwait City down to Saudi Arabia. There is no sort of public transportation that I can discern of, despite, reading Reddit forums and TripAdvisor forums and what have you. So I think I'm going to have to get a Kareem taxi all the way down to the border of Saudi Arabia. And that's basically my plan for the day. And then I'm thinking that there will be possibly a bus on the Saudi side, although I read that it only goes twice a day and I couldn't find a timetable for it. So I don't know how this is going to work. If you're interested in where I was staying at this place called the Carlton Tower Hotel, which is as close as you can get to a budget hotel here in Kuwait City. It was about $60-ish US a night, and that's by paying through the Expedia app. That is not the list price that you would pay here in the hotel. But it's been good. Super friendly staff, and I would totally recommend it. And again, it's the nuances that it's as close as you can get to budget travel in Kuwait. There is also a Malayali or Keralite Indian restaurant just across the intersection, where I had dinner all 3 nights that I was here for about, 2 Kuwaiti dinars, which is also about as good as you're going to do. And it's some of the only healthy food you're going to have too, because Kuwait is really heavily laden with fast food. Anyway, so come along with me and let's see how this journey goes. My first step in order to get out of Kuwait City is I've got to get Kuwaiti dinars for a Kareem taxi down to the Saudi border. And then I believe I've got to go to the El Mubarakiyah market, where the exchange offices are, and exchange some of my Kuwaiti dinars to Saudi riyals, so that I have enough money in the correct currency for a bus or taxi on the Saudi border. Again, I don't know how all this is going to work, and there's almost no information online about this, at least not in the English language that I can really find, and nothing is up to date. It's quite hot here, and it is essentially obligatory fasting during Ramadan, although I believe Eid al-Fitr, the end of Ramadan, and celebration of the sacrifice, is tomorrow. And I am looking for the street of exchanges that I went to the other night when I first got here to exchange my Iraqi dinars. And I'm trying to navigate something during the daytime. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, where you find something at night and you know where it is by how things are lit at night, and then when you see the same place during the daytime, you can't remember exactly how you found the place you're trying to look for. Nearly all of the exchanges in the exchange quarter of the Mubarakiyah Souk seem to be closed, but this one guy here is open. Okay, getting some Saudi riyals. Here we go. Shukran jazilan. Okay, now I got my Saudi riyals. Now I've got to walk back to the hotel and call a Kareem taxi to the border. Traveling the world pretty steadily for the last 25 or so years, and this moment that's approaching is something that I never thought I would experience in my lifetime. visa application process was slightly circuitous, but eventually I dug up that they send you a PDF that says, it simply says visa granted. They don't actually send you an email saying when you apply for the Kuwait visa, you immediately get pinged with an email saying like, here's your visa. But the Saudi process doesn't do that. It's just within the website, and you have to download the PDF. So I downloaded it to my laptop, and then I airdropped it onto my iPhone and saved it to files for here at the border. But this isn't something that I ever saw happening in my life. Saudi Arabia has always been known as a closed-off society, a society that really didn't need tourism, didn't need outsiders, except for people to maintain its military and sort of run its airlines and different things like sort of utilitarian, upper echelon migrant workers essentially. But here we are, I don't know if it's probably too soon to say we're approaching a post-oil age, but we definitely are in the onset of the electric car age, and I think that has probably given Saudi leadership something to really think about. I definitely think that plays into, Saudi Arabia opening up its borders. It has to be a factor. I haven't actually read that anywhere. I haven't read that the monarchy has actually stated this, but they have stated, however, that they are trying to modernize their economy and open up to the rest of the world, and that staying closed is not really sustainable in the near future. So here we are approaching the end of the state of Kuwait at the New Sea port. So Muhammad, who is from Punjab in Pakistan, he and I are both wondering how he can turn around. I don't think he's ever been down here. So of course I don't want to send him through customs. I need to debark from the taxi and I think approach the border on foot. I don't know. Again, this is one of the many questions. I don't know how it's going to work. So an officer here on the Kuwaiti side of the border told me what I'm trying to do is super duper unorthodox. He's like, we don't really know what to do with you, in that you just got out of a taxi and you're on foot with all this luggage. And of course filming is not allowed here, but so I have the GoPro just tucked away in my backpack respectfully. And I'm now sitting in an office while the officer who's trying to help me is making a phone call. I'm holding my phone down low to not look obvious. So I had to get special permission from an officer to be able to go on foot with my bags between the border gates, because he said that this border is only open to cars and that there is no form of public transport, and it is definitely not set up for pedestrians. And he half joked, he's like, you can go with this one if you want. He pointed at my skateboard. He's like, take this from one border post to the other. But of course that wasn't possible. So now I'm sitting in limbo in what is essentially a sheltered traffic island at what seems to be the end of the Kuwaiti border, and they just told me to sit here and hang out with my bags. I have no idea what's going on. It's kind of funny though. I mean, everyone here has been super friendly and super cool. They just don't really know what to do with a solo traveler. So we are exactly crossing into the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia at the Khafji land crossing. Well, this is certainly a first, something I definitely did not expect. Very cool. This is a confusing but kind-spirited situation. I am apparently in line to get my thumbprints taken in order to enter the kingdom, but the customs officer is incredibly friendly, and so far it's been pretty fun actually, and interesting. I love this kind of stuff. When asked why I was coming to Saudi Arabia, I definitely played up the YouTube angle. I said I was doing a channel about crossing all the region's newly reopened borders, or borders opening for the first time. and now I'm in a line for what I guess are non-GCC, that is Gulf Cooperation Council citizens, which is people from Iraq and other places that aren't part of the regional pact. So Abdul Mohsen was very patient while I got fingerprinted in the office there. You have to get your 4 fingers fingerprinted on each hand, and then you have to separately do your thumbs. Then they do like an eye scan and a whole photo thing, and that took close to an hour. A lot of people from India and Pakistan and elsewhere who were waiting to cross the border, and now we are waiting for customs, and then it's still 3 hours to Dammam. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get there, but this has actually been pretty fun so far. It's been very unusual for an ajnabi, which is a foreigner, to cross the border without a car. I think this is one of my most unorthodox travel experiences in quite a while. Abdul Mohsen.
Hello, hello.
Shukran jazilan.
العفو العفو حياك الله.
He got me through the hudud, the border.
حياك الله يا مرحبا يا هلا.
Shukran shabab.
Goodbye.
Bye guys. Okay, now I'm getting in a taxi to either a bus or a taxi, I'm not sure. Okay. Yalla. Okay. ممكن
What national?
أنا أمريكي.
أمريكي؟
أمريكي.
وين أريزونا؟
لا.
ميسوري؟
لا
تكساس؟
فيلادلفيا.
فيلادلفيا.
بنسلفانيا.
بنسلفانيا.
Yeah. شو اسمه؟
نيم فهد. فهد شمري.
فهد
شمري.
اسمه ديريك.
ترك؟
ديريك.
Good.
تمام؟ Okay. Salam alaikum.
You need Dammam?
I need Dammam, yeah.
Okay.
تاكسي؟
Yes.
هذه؟
أيوة.
Anyway.
دمام. How much?
Dammam where?
كم ريال؟
When in the Dammam?
فندق.
أي فندق?
نوفوتيل؟
No hotel.
نوفوتيل.
Yeah, the Dammam industrial area. Okay.
Dammam industrial.
Yeah. You go alone?
I'm just أنا واحد.
You go alone? Okay. You need that together. Difference this
لا
money.
مثلا حاله هذا كم؟
Hello. 400 ريال.
400?
Yeah.
Oh, you said ثلاثة.
ها؟
دائما يروحون من هنا 300. الواحد راجع
بس-
للدم. راجع.
We're discussing the price here.
بس ما في. بس ما في. لا بكرة بعد العيد. ولا ادفع 300 أنا في واحد نفرنا الشيء.
وين عاد؟
موجود. أنا يمشي من بعد الفطور. هو يمن.
خلاص 300 300.
So we have stopped at a rest stop, only God knows where, somewhere in Eastern Province, and this has turned into an incredibly long travel day, but a rewarding one nonetheless. I don't think it's hit me that I'm actually in Saudi Arabia after I've been traveling in the Middle East for, well, starting 30 years ago. And yeah, I think we're not all that far out from Dammam, and Delaware, the lovely, wonderful driver who speaks Bangla, Hindi, Arabic, and English, he's quadrilingual, he was explaining to me that my hotel, or the hotel where I'm hoping to stay, is actually just a stone's throw from the train that goes from Dammam to Riyadh, which is one of the things I was hoping to do on this trip. So yeah, so far this road trip is it's going well, and yeah, I'm very much looking forward to getting a real meal and flopping in a hotel. I think we are approaching at least the outskirts of Dammam. First impressions of Dammam is that it is an incredibly brightly lit city. Wow. Everything is blindingly bright and lots of colors. Okay, well, this concludes the journey from Kuwait. Here is the Novotel in Dammam. And this has been a much more involved journey than even I was imagining, and it's been very, very interesting. Alright guys, well, I have made it to Eastern Province in northeastern Saudi Arabia along the Gulf, and I'm very happy to be here. This trip worked out. I used the word hopefully at the beginnings of these border crossing series videos because I don't really know how these things are going to go, which is also why I'm not comfortable prepaying for a hotel on the other side of the border, because I just, you know, all of this stuff, this travel that I'm doing is such a new phenomenon with the opening up of both Iraq and Saudi Arabia, basically with simultaneity, that I want to make sure that I'm able to cross these borders. You know, I don't know exactly how these things are going to work, and there's very little information online about how to cross these, and especially in English, information is very scant. You're more likely to find information in Urdu or Bangla or you know, Hindi or another such or Arabic, but as far as English or even any other European languages, there's just almost nothing, I think, because all of this is just so new. So I want to do a quick recap of just some of the expenses and timings of things. So my Kareem taxi from Kuwait City to the Nuwasi border was 16 Kuwaiti dinars, and it was about a 40 to 45 minute drive, I would say. Then the Kuwaiti border police basically press ganged a young guy named Abdul Mohsen to drive me from the Kuwaiti side through the neutral no man's land to the Saudi border. And he did this for free, basically because he was asked to, and I think it was also because he was a single young male and there was no one else in the car. And so that ended up being an absolute godsend. One, because he was friendly with the border authorities on the Saudi side. He told me that his father had actually been in the border force when Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990, in the border in Saudi Arabia, meaning, and his father had actually worked with the Americans to evict the Iraqis from Kuwait in 1991. So he was, I mean, he was a perfect person to help me out in this this journey. So he then drove me to a sort of lightly settled area outside of the Saudi border. He passed me off to another older Saudi man named Fahad, and Fahad drove me to a town called Khafji, which wasn't all that far away, and I ended up paying Fahad 20 Saudi riyals for his trouble. And Fahad hooked me up with a Bangladeshi driver named Delawar, and Delawar asked for 300 Saudi riyals to drive me from Khafji all the way to Dammam, which was about 3 hours plus down the coast. And yeah, I ended up paying him 280 Saudi riyals because I bought some food and water for the road trip, which made me a little short. And I completely guessed the amount of money that I needed when leaving Kuwait City. I had no idea how many Saudi riyals I needed. Now, I was unable to get the bus. There was actually a bus ticket office there, but there was no bus. That may have been because it turned out to be the Eid holiday, which it was declared to be Eid, which is the end of Ramadan, during our journey to Dammam. So yeah, I don't know, but those, and it, yeah, but basically those are all my costs and timings. I would suggest if anyone wants to follow my lead and try and do this trip, it is definitely doable. It is tricky. Everyone along the way is friendly. What I would recommend you do better than I did is get a much earlier start. So I would say get your Saudi riyals from the Al Mubarakiyah exchange market in Kuwait City maybe the day before. So I ended up sort of dawdling around Kuwait City, like, you know, with doing this currency business, when I probably should have just left in a Kareem as soon as I checked out of the hotel. That was probably one thing I would do differently, because then I would have gotten to Saudi Arabia sooner. But yeah, all's well that ends well, and I'm very happy to be here. I still can't believe that being a tourist in Saudi Arabia is a reality. If you'd like to see more content like this, I'd ask you to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I've got one more border crossing to go in this 4-part mini-series. So thanks for watching.